If I look the same as I did last week, it's because I do. This has just been filmed literally 30 seconds after finishing the last one. It's the same cup of tea. So today, when I came home, I promised my mum and my grandma that I would go and visit my grandma because she keeps asking, but she refuses to come and visit me in Lincoln because, oh, it's too far. So when I go and visit my nan, we have too many cups of tea for me to count. She feeds me corned beef sandwiches and microwavable chips because that's what I had when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and she thinks that that's the only thing I like to eat. But while we're drinking the gallons of tea that she's put in front of me, she tells amazing stories about what it was like to be her when she grew up. My nan was born in 1936, so she grew up during the 40s, and she'd make an excellent children's book because her life just doesn't seem real. I think I'll do an entire separate video on stories that my grandma has told me over the years, because there's some brilliant stories. You know what? I'll just write a children's book about her because there's so much that she's done. Obviously, it's been 80 years. You can get a lot done in 80 years. But the amount of stories she has always reminds me to do stuff. I always feel super inspired when I come back from her house. Even if it's just the really good notion that she's going to make a fantastic children's bestseller one day. We'll find out. Also, my best friend Tara, her family, and especially her mum, are the kind of people that I want to be. Every time they throw a party, the house is always jam-packed full. You can't move for people that love them. Tara's mum's funeral, my Auntie Vicky, her funeral was packed. It was standing room only because of the impact she'd made on other people throughout her life. Everyone loved her so much, and it's people like that that I look up to, because they've not just sat and waited for life to do something to them. They've gone out there and made sure that they do things to make sure that, I don't know, that they're remembered or that they're loved. They take every opportunity that they've ever been given and they fill their life with friends and family and hobbies and love, and it's just the kind of people that I want to be. And that's why my auntie was one of my favourite people, because you couldn't spend more than 5 minutes in a room with her and not want to be her at some point. She was incredible. She's got millions of stories. She had hundreds of stories, and she's involved in a lot of my mum's stories. So when my mum comes and tells me a story about her life, something exciting that's happened, my Auntie Vicky is always in that story because nothing interesting happened without her. She was incredible. And it just shows the impact she's had on the lives of people like my mum, because every single story, Auntie Vicky's always there. And it just sort of got me thinking that I don't ever want to be in my 80s like my grandma is and sit and look back and be like, and have no stories to tell, my children and my grandchildren, because I've just sat about and waited for life to happen when that's not how it works. If you don't go out and do stuff, life will pass you by. I'm nearly 20 years old and I've realised I've not done anything, or not anything that I wanted to do by the time I was 21. I had a big long list of things I wanted to do by the time I was 21, and I've only got a year and 4 months left to do that. 4 months? 4 months, yeah. A year and 4 months. Fuck. Existential crisis. I don't have that long to get any of that stuff done, and the only person I've got to blame for that is me, because I'm the one that didn't do it. I don't have friends to blame because it's not their fault, and my parents aren't to blame because they've always encouraged me to take every opportunity I've ever been given, and I've just gone, you're alright, because I don't want to look stupid to other people. Because I wasn't popular at school, I didn't think I could get away with stuff like that. I used to sing and act and perform and play instruments in front of people, and I got into secondary school and I went to find the crowd that did that, and they were so intimidating and they bullied me out of doing it, so I stopped doing it. And it's only now I'm 19, nearly 20, so 6 years later, that I'm finally plucking up the courage to do that again. And I think that's daft. It's really, really ridiculous. And the only reason I've got the courage to do that again is because nobody at university really knows me. So I had the opportunity to build my personality again from scratch. and cut out all the stuff that was bullied out of me, and I'm able to have a life again, the one I wanted. There was supposed to be some kind of moral to this story, and I think the moral to the story is stuff that makes you happy, not because it will make other people happy. Obviously, if it's someone you love, do the thing to make them happy, but if it's going to be like a major life choice, like performing or anything like that, anything creative, and if it was bullied out of you at all, ignore them, take it by the reins and do it again. Even if you feel a little bit daft to start off with, because you will, I do, because I was told it was ridiculous for a very big portion of my life, the developmental years, as it were. So you're going to feel ridiculous if you pick back up the reins again, but just do it. What's the harm in it? You know, even if you just do it in the comfort of your own home, even if you don't do it in front of people, you're still getting back into the swing. And it's like when I started wearing red lipstick for the first time. If you do it around the house, get used to yourself wearing the red lipstick. When you go outside and you wear the red lipstick in front of other people, you've already got the confidence to carry that red lipstick off, and they're not going to question it at all. So practice your craft by yourself, so you build up the confidence enough to when you walk out the house and do it in front of other people, they've got no reason to question you, because as far as they know, you've been doing that your whole life. I think I've summed that up nicely. I think I'm done now.